Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Dread Skates. I'm your host and number one hub hater, Scott Dread, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Exway Wave. So let's see if I can do this, because y'all don't seem to really like me standing behind the desk. Okay, how did he do this? Alright. Nope, okay. Let's really focus. Whoa.
I hate that.
This is the Exway Wave, the latest board in Exway's Gen 3 lineup of boards. Some of you might remember how much I love the Flex, so will the Wave live up to the hype of what I still consider to be the best commuter board on the market? Let's find out. Also, real quick, if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This lets me know you're interested and want to keep seeing more content on the channel. Alright, let's get into it. So let's kick it off here with some of the basic specs. Exway is advertising a top speed of 23 miles per hour, and it is utilizing a 216 watt-hour battery and an estimated climbing rate of 25% grade-wise and a maximum range of 15 miles. The Wave is sitting on Exway's new in-house designed precision-style Trist trucks, try saying that 3 times fast, and has a weight of 15 pounds and a deck length of 30 inches. It's also being powered by 2 of Exway's 1000 watt super quiet hubs. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. What did I really like about this board? Well, for one thing, the portability. When you pick this thing up, it is definitely a grab and go board, and as I said just now, it clocks in at about 15 pounds. So let's compare that to the Boosted Mini, which is a little under 30 inches and is 17 pounds. And now you might not feel that 2 pounds is a lot of weight. However, in the hand, when you're walking around, when you're getting groceries, you feel it, and it definitely shows here. The lack of weight, the functional kicktail, and just the overall slim design of the board really struck a chord with me here, and just grabbing it and kicking it up, although admittedly I am a bit out of practice here because I'm more used to riding around in the 10-ton monsters like the Lone Star and the Cat Ollie and such. It's still a lot of fun to pop the back end of that thing up when I'm just going. Let's talk a bit about ride comfort. Now, this is the area where I feel took a really huge hit, and this isn't necessarily indicative of something that's necessarily wrong with the Wave, but more just symptomatic of shortboards in general. And that's that one of the biggest trade-offs when you're coming over to a shortboard from a more traditional longboard like a Boosted or the Flex is that stiff deck combined with, in this case, the hubs. You feel everything. You feel every little dip and bump and crack and rock in the road, and it starts to tire your feet really quickly. And that is what I noticed here. And so it should be worth noting that unfortunately I was not able to secure a set of the Riot drives with this particular board, so my entire review is specifically about the hubs. It goes without saying, I do open my videos with your number one hub hater, Scott Dread, and I thought, it's like, okay, maybe it's time to revisit that. No, definitely go with the Riot belt drive option if you can. There are some situations where maybe the hub is more preferable, like if you need something quieter, you're on a college campus, or you're in a country that may restrict the use of electric vehicles, then by all means go with the hubs. But in any other case, I definitely would recommend just going with the Riot drive on this one. You're going to get better braking, you're going to get more power, and it's just going to be a smoother and more comfortable ride in general. Okay, so let's talk about what is perhaps the most interesting feature of this board, and that's the lights. And let me talk about something that really ticks me off, and that's that they are not included. So that's right. You only get the integrated backlights with the board, and those are like the brake light and acceleration light combo. What Exway fails to mention right off the bat is that if you want the headlights included, that is a separate purchase. Now, that's not necessarily a deal breaker, and arguably after testing these lights out, and actually, you know what? Roll that footage. let's see how these babies work in the dark, and then we'll circle back around to this. Alright, so as you can see here, the integrated light option works pretty well. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say I could see maybe 5 or 6 feet in front of me at any given time. And as a matter of fact, I would say these are probably on par with first gen shred lights. They're not amazing, but they are functional. And as a $40 upgrade, it's not bad. Now, that being said, it is a $40 upgrade. Now, all of the marketing for this and all of kind of like the teasers made it seem like this was an integrated part of the board. And when you're talking about a board that the base price is already $750 and you're paying another $40 to add on what was presumably an integrated feature, I don't know really how that sits with me. And if I were looking at this board as a student, that's just kind of an extra, or, somebody on a budget, that's an extra unnecessary cost. So that being said, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Like, it's nice that you don't have to pay the added cost to have it if it were built into the board, but it's also not great that that wasn't a standard feature set to begin with. From there, let's talk about ride handling, and this is another area where the Wave really shines through. I think just kind of in general when it comes to short boards, this is something that I really enjoyed, and just being able to, like I said, pick it up and go and run errands or get coffee or whatever. I just like rolling it around and carving and pumping just a little bit here and there, and it's real snappy. The Tris trucks, which I absolutely loved on the Flex, are doing their thing here, and as you can see, it's not hard to get the board moving when you want to. And this also translates when you're taking tight corners or maneuvering around sidewalks or into tight spaces if you're in a more urban environment or like a city setting. That being said, compared to some other boards which utilize DKP trucks, I found that I enjoyed this one a fair bit more, and that's just in terms of stability at speed. Compared to something like the Stoke, which was the last short board that I had any length of time with, I would say that handling and acceleration are on par, and maybe even notching it towards the Wave a little bit more. And there are some reviewers out there that are claiming that the Stoke has some sort of like acceleration or top speed advantage over the Wave, and I've found those to be fairly frivolous. They both kind of feel like they were topping out around 19 to 21 miles per hour, and that's consistently about what I was getting. The advertised top speed of 23 miles per hour, I think, is a bit disingenuous on the hubs. I was getting about 20, 21, like pinning the throttle out, and that was on flat ground. I think if you were to get this board with the Riot Drive option and larger wheels like the 97mm wheels or 105mm cloud wheels, you could definitely notch it up to around 23, 24 miles per hour pretty easily. But speed is not this board's biggest strength. As I said, short boards are better for short trips, running errands, getting groceries, picking up coffee, whatever, and that's what I found myself doing most on this. As in my initial range test, I found that after about 4 miles, like, I really started feeling it in my feet. Like, this is not a great long-range board. And on that note, let's talk about the range a little bit. In my test, I went from a 100% charge down to 4% over about 11 miles. So the advertised range of this board being 14 miles is a little bit generous. I would say realistic, unless you're on completely flat ground and maybe you have just a couple of hills in your commute. It's probably closer to 8 to 10 miles depending on your ride style and average speed. What overall do I think about this board? Coming off of the Flex, which I absolutely loved, that board was a slam dunk. The Wave feels more like a bank shot. It's very feature rich. It ticks all the boxes for a short board. It's a fantastic little commuter, but honestly, I'm not going to miss it when it goes back. I think I'm personally leaning more towards just the traditional longboards, and my fascination with electric shortboards is kind of cooled after that. But that's not to say that this might not be the perfect board for you. However, personally, if I had to put a number to it, I would give this an 8 out of 10, especially when you consider that the price of this board is essentially only $10 more than a fully kitted out Flex with the Riot drive. And as a matter of fact, I have a bit of confusion as to where the Wave lines up with the Flex in their lineup, so much so that I would be more comfortable in saying, like, if you're looking at the Wave and you don't necessarily need a shortboard, get the Flex, because you're going to get more speed, more range, more power, and the only thing that you're losing is the lights. That's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and again, if you really enjoyed this, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and if you didn't, click the thumbs down button down there and leave a little bit of feedback on how we can do better. So until next time, ride safe, Blade Riders.